Solution number 6 addresses the problem of being so focused on achieving a goal that you have not and cannot realize that your people are making progress, even if that progress is not achieving the goals that you wanted them to achieve. Now, let me tell you this. If you don't celebrate the wins as they happen along the way, even if they're not coming up to the standards that you hope, it could be because your standards are too high, or it could be because you're not setting the vision correctly, or it could simply be because your people are not sensing an aspect or an attitude of appreciation from you for what they're currently doing. Now, you've all heard this. People don't leave their job, they leave their bosses. And the number one reason people leave their bosses is because they don't feel appreciated. And you're saying, well, I appreciate you. And this goes back to the story I told you earlier. I told you when I hired you, I appreciate you. Do I have to tell you again? The answer is yeah. You kind of have to tell them again. And you have to celebrate the wins along the way. Doing so reinforces the vision, reinforces the communication of importance. Doing so is the job of the leader that connects to that communication piece that we talked about. If you don't acknowledge your wins, particularly if you're working with millennials, you will lose your team. They will go find somebody who does appreciate them. And you're saying, but I do appreciate them. Then tell them, when's the last time you wrote a note of appreciation to one of your direct reports saying, hey, you know what? Good job on accomplishing this. When did you do that? Handwritten note saying, hey, thanks for getting this done. I know you send an email that says thanks. Let me tell you, not very effective. When's the last time you sent a note out to someone 2 or 3 levels down further into the front line? You heard about from your direct report about Joe out in the front line there doing some really good work. You say, man, it's great. I'm really glad. Be sure and tell Joe thanks for me. Send Joe a little note. I can't tell you the difference this will make. At one point, I was working with a group of people that were spread across several states, and I would go out and visit these areas from time to time. And it was my practice to write notes to the high performers in these various areas, probably once every other month, something like that. And so I would send out a few notes, maybe out of 100 to 150 people, I would send out maybe 5 to 10 notes every other month to the top performers. And I would go out and visit these places, and I would see my note stuck in their cubicle as they were working there. And I would think, wow, they're not getting a lot of appreciation. And when they do get it, that really makes a difference to them. Highlighting the positive in people energizes them. Ignoring the positive that people do demotivates them and demoralizes them and creates mediocrity. Effort that is not acknowledged will result in mediocrity. So celebration is the fuel for continued success. And so I want to encourage you to think about that. Your incentives don't have to be monetary, but there does need to be some kind of recognition when goals are achieved, or even when certain people are achieving some of the goals in a way that shows real and genuine effort. When you do this, you reinforce the positive and greater things can come. So think about yourself now in your organization. Have you personally, been active in expressing appreciation and creating joy at the achievement of the goals? Make a few notes about that in the project area. Let's chat and see. I believe you'll begin to think, if you begin to adopt this, who could I write a note to? Who could I contact? How can I let somebody know, or this group know, or these people know that I really appreciate the effort they're making? You will see this come back to you tenfold in dramatic